Do you feel ready for the OET reading paper? Watch this video where I tell you what it is and what to do. Let's go! Hello, I'm Jo from Specialist Language Courses. We are OET Premium Preparation Providers, which means you are in the right place for your OET preparation. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell so you know every time we upload a new video. Let's begin. So the reading paper has 3 parts. You will start with part A, where you have 4 short texts and 3 tasks to complete. Part B has 6 short texts with multiple choice questions, and reading C has 2 long texts with 16 multiple choice questions. You have 15 minutes for part A and 45 minutes for part B and C together. Let's start by looking at part A, what it looks like and what to do. Part A requires that you read quickly by skimming and scanning the text to find answers. There are 20 questions and 4 different texts, and the paper is taken away at the end of the 15 minutes. Here are some part A texts. A is assessing a diabetic foot ulcer. Text B is applying dressings to DFUs. Text C, debridement of DFUs. And finally, text D's title is advantages and disadvantages of dressings for DFUs. As you can see, the texts are about the same topic. You do not have time to read the text, but instead notice the headings, subheadings, and the kind of information in each text. You should always start with the matching task, as this will prepare you for the other tasks later. Let's have a look. If we look at the keywords in question 1 and then look at the headings of the text, we can predict quickly that we would find the information in text B, as this contains information about applying dressings to diabetic foot ulcers. For question 2, from the keywords in the question, we can predict that the information about tissue removal would be found in text C, which deals with debridement of DFUs. So a top tip for the matching task is to only look in the text to find the information if you are unsure. So do it without looking. This way you don't spend too much time on the first task, leaving more time for the other tasks. Now let's take a look at the short answer questions and sentence completion tasks. For both of these task types, you need to ask yourself these questions. What kind of information or word am I looking for? What words and phrases from the question will help me find the answer? Which text am I going to look in? Then scan quickly in that text to find the answer. Let's take a look at that in practice now. Question 7 asks, what kind of DFU is it if a patient has lost all sensation? We would probably find this information in text A, and we then use the keywords from the question to help us find the information we're looking for. If we look in the table, we can see the category sensation, and next to it, it says sensory loss. So from this, we can look above and see that the answer is neuropathic. Now you try question number 8. Look at the keywords in the questions to understand the type of word you're looking for and the keywords to help you find it. Did you find it? The question to number 8 is neuroischemic. We know that we're looking for a type of DFU. The keywords in the question, beneath the nail, tell us to look in the typical location category. And then we can quickly find margins of the foot and under toenails. And if we look at the column heading above, we know the answer is neuroischemic. Use the same strategy for sentence completion. For question 15, we can predict that a noun needs to fill the gap. And we can underline the keywords which will help us locate the answer, which is most likely going to be in text B. In the text, it says, remember that footwear needs to accommodate any dressing, which is a paraphrase of sentence 15. So the answer is footwear. Now you try for question 16. Predict the type of word that fits the gap and use the keywords to find the answer. Did you find it? That's right, the answer is dead space. We can see in the text it says, ensure wound dead space is eliminated. For example, use a dressing that conforms to the contours of the wound bed. In the question, it says the dressing should follow the shape of the wound so there is no dead space. Now let's move on to reading B and what it is and how to do it. Part B contains texts which are short, dense and information heavy. They are based on practical issues and procedures in the workplace. So what should you do? First, read and understand the questions, then underline keywords in the answer options, noticing the differences between them. Read the paragraph and look for links, and eliminate any incorrect options and choose the answer which you think fits best. However, it might be better for you to read the paragraph first so that you're not distracted by the options. So try both strategies and see which works best for you. Let's try with this example. Read the paragraph now to find out. If we read and understand the question, we know we're looking to understand what we must avoid doing when disclosing distressing information to patients. If we read and understand the paragraph as a whole, we can understand that the answer is C. The text mentions various points to consider, such as who is with the patient when giving distressing information, the cultural norms we should be aware of. It then goes on to talk about language used and allowing time and the opportunity to ask questions as well as repetition if necessary. Option C is correct because this is what the text is talking about as a whole. Option A is incorrect as it states the opposite. You should use more simplistic terms. And B is incorrect. The text says you should arrange to talk with the patient in the company of family, but not avoid them. Now we come to reading part C. Let's take a look at what it looks like and how to approach it. Part C has 16 questions, 8 per text. There are 2 longer texts which come from journals and websites on general medical topics. The text will report and explain a variety of views or issues on a topic rather than concrete facts, and the questions often focus on the views of the writer. So what should you do? Start by reading and understanding the question. It's vital that you understand this. Then underline keywords in the answer options, read the paragraph and choose the answer which fits best. Again, it might be better for you to read the paragraph first so you aren't distracted by the options. It's also a good idea to number the paragraphs in the text so you can find each paragraph quickly. Here's an example, and let's not look at the options first this time. The question asks, in the first paragraph, which aspect of DM1 is highlighted? So, what is the writer drawing your attention to overall in this paragraph? Read the paragraph now and see if you can answer the question. Now, if we read and break down the paragraph, we can see that first, it introduces diabetes mellitus, its seriousness and treatment. In the rest of the paragraph, the writer discusses the challenges patients face, possible consequences, as well as radical lifestyle changes. So now let's look at the options and notice the difference in meaning of the keywords. So we need to ask ourselves, does the text highlight the demanding treatment it entails, the extent of the problems it causes society, the degree of disruption it brings to patients' lives, and the severity of medical complications it can lead to? And remember, we want to look at the paragraph as a whole. We can now eliminate incorrect options. Option A is incorrect because it doesn't talk about the demanding treatment regime. It just mentions insulin injection being part of the treatment. And it isn't B, as it only talks about problems for individuals, not society. So now we need to decide between options C and D. Which one do you think it is? And the correct answer is C, as if we look at the whole paragraph, it clearly describes several factors which would be considered disruption caused to patients' lives. Option D is not the right answer because even though it does mention the severity of medical complications, this aspect is not being highlighted overall in the paragraph. So remember, look at the paragraph as a whole for these types of questions. So what can you do to improve for the OET reading test? Read, read, read. There is no better way to get better at the skill itself other than reading. Remember that reading A is worth 20 marks, which is nearly 50% of the exam, and parts B and C are 22 marks. Understand the skills you need to improve for the exam. Okay, so my top tips for OET reading. Practice your scanning skills for part A. Practice reading for main idea for part B. Practice reading for attitude and opinion for part C. And read as much as possible from a variety of sources to succeed in the OET exam. So I'd like to know which part you find most difficult in the reading paper. Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, please like and share with your friends and colleagues so we can help more people achieve success in the OET exam. Don't forget to check out our website, the link's below, to see how we can help you pass the exam. See you in the next video. Bye! Do you feel ready for the OET reading exam? Then what? No. Let's take a look at an example question now. No. Let's take a look. Now let's move on to reading.